The inner chambers. Until the partial declassification in 2014, little was known about what lay beneath the sanctuary of the true light. The 1974 excavation revealed only fragments of a much larger subterranean complex, but the recovered journals, especially those dated 1839 to 1845, describe the underground network in unsettling detail. Construction of the chambers began in the spring of 1839, ostensibly as a cellar expansion for storing grain and preserving goods. In reality, the work was done entirely by the covenant's most devoted vessels, chosen for their obedience and silence. No outside laborers were ever employed, and the entrances were concealed beneath trapdoors inside the sanctuary itself. According to the journals, there were at least 7 principal chambers, each with a specific function in the covenant's ritual system. The Chamber of Preparation, a small windowless room where candidates for the passage were kept in isolation for days or weeks before their ordeal. Journals described cleansing through fasting, silence, and controlled deprivation of light. The Chamber of Trials, equipped with heavy iron restraints fixed to the walls, along with wooden platforms stained dark from years of use. Implements for the 7 trials were kept here, each carefully cleaned and oiled after ceremonies. The Chamber of Passage was the central ritual space, dominated by a raised stone dais carved with the spiral symbol. The floor was inlaid with dark granite lines radiating outward like spokes from the dais. Lantern niches in the walls created shifting, almost hypnotic shadows. The Chamber of Remains, referred to in the journals as the Garden of Light. Here, the bodies of those who had undergone the passage were arranged in seated or kneeling positions, dressed in ceremonial robes, their faces painted with white ash. Some were partially mummified, others were reduced to skeletal form, the bones bound with wire to maintain posture. The Chamber of Reflection was used for the indoctrination of newer members. Survivors' testimonies indicate they were brought here blindfolded, led among the preserved dead, and told that these were the saints of the light who watched over the covenant. The Chamber of Records was where Deacon Matthew kept his ledgers and anatomical notes. This room was lined with shelves containing jars, boxes of dried herbs, and rolls of parchment covered in intricate diagrams of the human body, overlaid with symbols. The Chamber of Ashes was a low, narrow space with a single brick hearth. Here, possessions of the departed were burned, and the ashes collected into clay urns bearing only the spiral mark. The journals note that access to the deeper chambers was restricted to the Mercer brothers and a handful of trusted inner circle members. Even among the vessels, many never saw more than the preparation and trials chambers. An entry from April 1943, written by Elder Elias, reveals the intended purpose of the entire complex. These halls are the womb of the new light. In them the vessel is emptied, the spirit is filled, and the remains are set as a testament. Each stone, each arch bears witness to the covenant between pain and transcendence. When federal investigators explored the ruins in 1974, they confirmed the existence of several of these chambers, although many had been deliberately collapsed or flooded. The Chamber of Remains, however, matched the journal descriptions almost exactly. Among the skeletons recovered there, at least 12 bore signs of deliberate modification: missing ribs, carved bone markings, and in some cases small metal rods embedded in the spine. It was here, in the Garden of Light, that the covenant's blend of ritual devotion and anatomical experimentation became impossible to deny.